I think there's elements of both in each other. Like, you will not be a career artist if you don't find personal expression in it. You know what I mean? You need
Have we
that
filled our
satisfaction to keep
contractual
going.
obligation of boog chills yet?
No, we have like 15 more.
Okay,
Oh man.
I have a
Suck it up.
timer. I have a timer. It's every 5 minutes.
He has like a bright LED that flashes in my freaking face.
Eat at Joe's kind of shilling.
Smoke. Yeah. But what the hell are we talking about?
Art.
This is a great
Oh.
panel.
Like the different. Well, you know.
Well, I was talking about how, you know, everybody kind of needs an outlet. They're two halves of your brain, you know, right half, left half, and you need to entertain it both, lest you become but a shell of a human. If I'm being dramatic
If
at
you
all.
lean towards visual arts in any way, like you've never thought about drawing yourself, genuinely just give it a shot. Like, you can turn out crap as much as you want. There's no shame in it. It's probably the best way to grow. Just get at it, crank it out, and I guarantee you, after even a few months, if not, depending on how much talent you have initially, almost immediately, you're gonna be impressed with yourself to some degree.
Yeah, that's basically the whole point of Newgrounds. Even from the start, from the absolute very start of this stupid website, you know, the whole idea, everything by everyone. I think they really mean that.
Yeah.
Like on a basal level.
An instinctual level of just churning out stuff.
Yeah.
And to tap into what you said, Rick, I do fully believe, no matter what, if you're on Newgrounds, if you have a community of people that are going to inspire you, and you have all of this art and all of this creativity around you, no matter what, if you're dedicating and you fully really want to be an artist, if you fully really want to make that happen and you're dedicating to learning, you will be able to do what you want to do. You need to focus and make it happen, but you will make it happen. And there's so much that will inspire you to do so on this website, especially.
Yeah. I'm not one to preach too, but Newgrounds is great as motivation to get out of your comfort zone, because especially the featured portal, there's a lot of different styles that are showcased, and I think it's essential for any artist to step outside what they know at any level, like even from professional to like drawing stick figures. You need to experiment. You need to try and ape people. Aping people, honestly, is the best way to go at it, I find. For myself, you'll pick a look or a character design or a specific aesthetic from an artist you like, and just try your best to just like, not clone it, but interpret how it's put together. At any level, you can pick that up and start doing it. I know for me, like from the beginning, you know the Metal Gear Solid artwork, like on the box art and stuff. Yoshi Shinkawa. Yeah, that whole thing. Like from the beginning, when I was freaking drawing pencil doodles, I'm like, I want to use ink pens like that dude, and I still can't do it, but it's a good motivator, and you sort of integrate things into your style. The way I see it, style emerges naturally from your impression of how you go about visual arts. You shouldn't really pursue one directly, like as like a dedication to it. It's more of like it's a byproduct, right? Everyone has their own mental view.
A style is like a meme. Like, you can't force a meme, but it comes it will happen naturally.
So it's kind of like it's kind of just like a byproduct of the methods that you use and how you apply it, I guess. Yeah. And that's what you should do when you look at other artists and things, and you should look, how did they do this? And maybe I should take a crack at it, and then just try it out.
Just
That's
fuck
the worst
around.
that could happen. Yeah,
just experiment.
Just fuck around. Absolutely fuck around.
Especially as a hobbyist, there's no stakes involved here. Like, you're not going to smear your reputation by cranking out a complete pile of crap. So you may as well do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, I think this is a great segue into just how to basically into Newgrounds art. You are an artist. You want to be an artist. You want to draw things. You want to put it on the internet and have people look at your drawings. Newgrounds. What do you do? What do you do? How do you start? Where do you start?
When do we get our shill box for Newgrounds?
Honestly.
Buddy, I've got 15 cents that's been waiting for me for 5 years, and I still haven't cashed in. I don't know where that money is. But when it comes to starting on Newgrounds, I said this previously, just start. Just post. Just talk to people. It's not as hard as it may feel, even if you are very shy or worried about people judging you for however, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Just start is the easiest and best advice that I could ever give, especially with Newgrounds, because nobody is going to be mad at you for wanting to do what you love. Nobody is going to be mad at you for wanting to do exactly what you have passion for. And if you show that passion, people will help you.
It's true. But on that second thing you raised about talking to people, I think that's an essential part of, I guess, the community at large. A lot of doors open up to you if you just straight up reach out to people. Like the people
you'll be surprised at how welcoming they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little staggering sometimes.
Yeah.
It's very staggering.
Because if you think about it, it's kind of flattering. Someone's taking the time out of their day and they just think your stuff is so cool that they want to send you a message and say, "Hey, your stuff's really cool."
That's the thing too. That's the thing too. Every other single person that is on this website is exactly like how you are. Everybody's awkward. Everybody's anxious. Everybody's anxietal about whether or not they're going to be looked at weird or thought of in some way, or that
and
their
everybody's
art isn't
autistic.
good.
Go support the network now.
Well, hey, I was going to say that, but we are in some vein there. I will agree, 100%, because we're all artists, we're all creatives, and I think everybody knows there's a little something extra there. There's a little something extra that's going on.
It's called brain damage, but it's
it's a small amount, very small amount.
Yeah, some more than others. It's true. But
it's what allows us to do what we do.
As to how to go about it, by the way, art trades are probably the most obvious thing. You'd be surprised who's willing to.
Oh yeah, art trades are a big thing.
Oh yeah,
yeah, they are.
Everybody loves doing art trades.
Yeah, art trades, collabs. See, collabs are kind of intimidating for a lot of people because it requires much more like dedicated investment responsibility than just doodling a thing for someone else. But that level of responsibility that comes with it on delivering something for a group as a whole, I find is a great motivator to actually do stuff. I know for me, some of the biggest periods of my personal growth for art have been when I was just forced to sit down and crank something out for like a collab or some random crap.
Yeah.
Because polishing any skill, you're not going to enjoy it like a lot of the time. If art was just like this freaking hippie stuff where you smear paint on canvas and you have a joyous time doing it, everyone would be doing it, right? It'd be the cure for depression. Unfortunately, it isn't. A lot of the times, it's going to be tough. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to not be satisfied. You're going to crank stuff out that you freaking hate and you don't want to put out. You're like, this is freaking trash. But it's pushing through that and getting over that. That's the crux of growth as a skill. And there's a lot of ways to mitigate that we can go into, but that's a whole rabbit hole that we can touch later.
Yeah, the biggest and most salient pieces of advice are things that everyone already knows. It's not just about knowing it, it's just kind of about doing it. And you can't really, I don't know, you can't just go out and say, oh, just do this. But that's sort of what the real goal is. Like, just have faith in your own creations and stuff like that. It's really easy to get in your own head, and they said it earlier, right? It's like you will probably not be accepting of your own art far before other people are, because other people don't really have that much context to it. They go, wow, that's a cool painting, and then you're looking at all the flaws and stuff. And then, you're comparing it to other pieces that just like show up around the same time, and you're all doing this whole thing. And then other people are going, whoa, 2 pieces of art. Holy shit.
Yeah. When you crank something out, you really do it. Like, as an artist, when you put out a picture, you have the mental baggage of the entire process along with it, as opposed to the viewer who just sees the whole at the end, and that's it. And the mental baggage from the aforementioned thing really does weigh on you, and it will form your impression of your own pieces more than the abject whole. And that is something you have to get over in terms of accepting yourself and having more fun with the medium. And I guess it just comes back to cranking more stuff out. It's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
I know we keep touching on it, but
just draw bottom text.
Just do it.
Just do it.
That's our pitch. Just do it. There's no
just fucking draw. What are you doing?
Jump.
Go.
Take the plunge, man. Just jump.
Yeah.
Jump. Do a flip.
Yeah. It's like boot camp. But no, it's or some other topics we got to touch on. I know I mentioned something like 10 minutes ago, but I already forgot.
Oh, I mean, I wrote down some stuff. I think that getting involved in collabs and stuff is probably a big thing. Like when you have a couple pieces of art under your belt and you're sort of feeling pretty good about yourself, I think that's a good jumping off point of when to sort of get involved in collabs and stuff. And even if you're not 100% sure about it, just try anyways.
I'm going to take this chance. I'm going to chastise everyone in the audience, despite not knowing a thing about them.
Yeah,
if you take part in a collab, you have to understand that responsibility. Don't be the guy who doesn't deliver. Motivate yourself with that. It's a responsibility you're taking on. It's like getting a job, but you don't get paid and it sucks. This is a great pitch.
Yeah,
well, you know
it's
what I
like
mean, right? You have to foist it upon yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like take a collab as sort of like kiddie pool version of like actually being an employed artist with a studio. You have to deliver. You can't just sort of like be all touchy feely. Yeah, you have to make that deadline, or else people start getting angry. It hurts your prospects.
Yeah.
But even before that, someone would maybe go, but wait, how do I even find these collabs? How do I even find these people to do art trades with? Well, that's where it circles around to point numero uno of just talk to people. If you're thinking, man, I think it'd be kind of cool to do a collab. If you're reaching out to people and you're building a little bit of a network about others, Also, let me just say that networking is a very scary word, but all it means is you're just making friends and contacts in a semi-professional sense. It doesn't have to be this big thing. You don't gotta shake hands and look them straight in the eyes and do that kind of stuff. Just like if you're talking to people who are within the same professional sphere you are, that is networking. You're already doing it. You've already fallen for it.
It's true. You don't have to open up LinkedIn for your Newgrounds profile, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, no. Like if you're talking to people and you find an artist, for example, you're making art. You find an artist that you really like, that you see some stuff that you're interested in. If you're curious about why they're doing it, just shoot them a message and ask. If they're chill,
you don't even have to. You don't even just if you like someone's art, DM them and say, "Dude, your art is great. I freaking love it."
Oh yeah, no, you could just say, "Yeah, that's great."
It means a lot because, like, when you first start on Newgrounds, a few likes and stuff is great, but as the numbers build up, you don't really recognize the humanity behind it. Like, a number is a number, but someone taking time out of their day to reach out to you is appreciated on like a much higher level, no matter what kind of artist you're hitting up. So if you take time out of your day and do that, it's going to be appreciated. You should do it. That's your task for the day. That's your homework, kids. You go home and DM an artist, say, "I love your stuff."
Especially on Newgrounds, where everybody is so much more tight-knit, you get to directly feel the appreciation from that person. And usually, I've gotten a few messages and I've given way more. I've sent way more of just exactly what I enjoy about that person's art, what I'm like interested in and what I would like to learn, especially from 3D artists. Like, hey, this thing is super interesting. How did you do that? That's super fucking cool. And that inspires a conversation and usually results in a pretty nice random friendship with a random fucking person on the internet.
Yeah, what's crazy is that they'll actually keep talking to you. And so, once again, that's okay, congrats. You've just networked. You've just done something. Now you can just go, hey, do you know any collabs or something like that? Just send a message. Just go, oh, do you know anything like that? Do you need to show that kind of initiative? And then you will find it. That's basically
all artists are egocentrics. If you ask them about their the process or anything, they will spiel to you for days.
They love talking about themselves. They love talking about their methods.
Do not hesitate to ask, like, hey, I love this freaking material texture you use. How do you composite that? Like,
they'll probably make diagrams
for
you.
House. Wolftang or Grill House, I forget which is his main account, which one's his dirty account. But he does really good, sharp images with really cool textures. And I was like, hey, how do you do that? How the hell do you do that? And he reached out and said, give me a second. He put out an entire post about his entire process, which was insane. For no reason, honestly, to please some random schmuck on the internet. But people do want to share. Reach out. You will learn stuff.
Yeah, because, these are other people that have been on the same path that you are, and they're at some point. So they are probably, a lot of them are chomping at the bit just to be able to share that knowledge and help someone else on that journey. All throughout the website. And that's probably what's kept this whole thing alive.
Okay, shut up. We got a cool question. From Goofy Nut Nightmare. It's a really good name.
Nice.
I got a question. The art portal is definitely one of the most competitive portals on Newgrounds. There's a ton of creators who make really great stuff that end up getting buried under all submissions. To that, can y'all give some advice on how do you stick out from the crowd and start getting recognized? That's a really good question.
Don't.
I don't know if I've done it.
Hey, here's the fucking thing. Do not try. Don't look at it as if you have to stick out from the crowd. Just do your thing, man. Straight up,
find you.
People will find you eventually. If you are building up your particular brand, or not even brand, because that's way too fucking corporate words-wise, build your art and what you like to do. Because if you go after finding or chasing what is going to be looked at more, you will not be satisfied with what you make. You need to satisfy.
Yeah. 40,000 times.
You need to satisfy yourself with the things that you make by making shit that is super consistently good to you. And you can only do that by continuing to make artwork and feel good about it. And more so than that, don't even work. Like, if you're making artwork and you really want to get that shit out there, all of us want to get our shit out there. All of us want to be seen. All of us want our stuff to
be
looked at and appreciated.
Yeah, cars, yeah.
So here's the thing. And me and Shal have talked about this too. Shal has espoused this more. No, let's slow down there. Like, nobody on this earth that's an artist doesn't not want their art to be seen. The point of us being artists, we're all egocentrists, as we have talked about before. We all want to be seen. We all want to be special little babies, and we all want our fun little thing to be looked at. And that's not a problem. That's okay. That is okay. But if you want that to happen, you need to focus on you first and foremost so that you have the knowledge, the know-how, and the confidence in yourself to feel, fuck yeah, I got this. I've got my own brand. I've got my art that I like to do, and I don't give a fuck if anybody likes it or not. It's going to happen. People are going to come to me, and I will be appreciative of those people as much as they're appreciative of the shit that I put out.
Oh, and I hope this doesn't undermine the entire thing that you were saying.
It's okay.
Also, yeah, no, it's fine. Also, one thing that I've kind of seen is that, if you have like a wacky, sort of off the wall, sort of shitpost idea, you can just like draw it out and you're like, huh, this is interesting. Why not just post it?
Dude, shitposts are the most successful ones. Something you put like 3 minutes into is going to get more traction than something you spent like 2 weeks doing.
An expert on that topic, Boog Works.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't followed or checked it out, it's Boogworks. He's also on Twitter.
All right, check it off. Check that one off. Yeah.
All right, cool. We're good. Smoke.
Smoke.
You made like a Toho thing, right?
Yeah, just to reiterate Dog Boy over there, it's like you don't chase trends. You'll end up being hollow as a person if you don't do it for yourself first and foremost, because it's like chasing just chasing clicks or whatever.
If you want big numbers, go on Twitter. It's going to be depersonalized. You're not going to get as much satisfaction out of it. But
even that doesn't qualify anymore. Twitter is one of the worst fucking places.
Yeah, it's really got oversaturated. People don't grow anymore that much on there.
Nobody grows anymore on there.
Well, yeah. Oh, I always lament that Twitter has, like, social media, like Twitter has killed like places like DeviantArt and stuff.
Oh yeah,
because it is the largest audience, but you are basically pissing into the warp itself, and
it's blowing right back in your face, buddy.
Yeah, it's blowing right back in your face, but it's like a vast swirling vortex of fucking piss. Everybody's doing it, so nobody knows.
So much piss.
And to connect it back to the previous point, one of Newgrounds whatever, its biggest advantages, right, is the featured portal. Someone touched on it in the comment section. But
I was just about to say something about that.
Pretty equitable about that, and it's like any kind of artist. I've seen people with like 10 followers get on there with a really good piece. They just started or something.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad if you don't get on. I barely get on. It's fine, but it's not something you should rely on. But it's a great thing to just like pull you out of the crowd, which honestly you shouldn't be looking for.
You shouldn't be looking for it, but it's nice when it happens. But at the same, don't rely on it.
You know what's better? The best possible shit that you can do, instead of trying to seek out any validation from a public miasma of people, instead of doing that, get friends. Like, find a friend group of people that you appreciate. And I don't mean that as a bad thing at all. I mean, if you already have,
here's the real secret about how to art. Touch grass, go outside.
Shut the fuck up. If you already have a friend group, or if you're looking for a friend group on Newgrounds, go to a friend group on Newgrounds. Find people that you really appreciate, people that you look up to art-wise especially, and if they like you and you all vibe together, that's the people that you bring your art to, and that's how you're going to grow especially. I don't think that you or anybody on this planet can grow as an artist by just throwing their shit out there into a void. You cannot do that. In order to grow as an artist, you cannot be in an echo chamber. You cannot be in a fucking cave of some sort. You need to be open to the world. And the best way to start that, if you're especially anxietal or worried about, bringing things out there, is to just have friends that you can trust to give you proper constructive criticism that will help you continue
for the
further.
love of God, please find peers who can give proper constructive criticism, and make sure to tell them that it's okay if you don't like it. Just tell me what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah, just tell me what you think.
Feedback.
Question in the chat.
Get feedback.
Is it possible to become a professional artist with
free
open source software? Yes.
Oh my God,
you can become a professional artist with a freaking piece of paper and a pencil.
100%.
It's
First
of all, Krita's great. Krita's amazing. As a free option for digital art, I think it's the best option by far. They've come a long way.
Krita's very good.
I crop pictures with GIMP sometimes.
Yeah.
There are no GIMP.
One of the advantages of the visual medium in general is you can make do with whatever, and usually if you do it in a wacky roundabout way, it actually will give you flair in the art piece itself. Like for example, Boog. Let's talk about Boog's old habit, which I find really interesting to this day. He used to do physical sketches, scan them, and then paint on top of it, which is really freaking cool in my opinion. He's moved over to sketching digitally just to ease the process. But
it's because my scatter is so old it doesn't work. It's
really
it's so old it doesn't. Win 10 doesn't recognize the scanner, so it's like, okay, I guess I just gotta pretend I don't have a scanner anymore. And it's
that's another thing on how to start art. Use what's there. The tools you use are the best tools.
The best art is made with limitations.
Yeah, I mean, Boog doesn't use a screen tablet. He paints all that with was it an Intuos?
Yeah, Wacom Intuos Pro.
Yeah, he's the best painter I know.
Yeah, but just don't do it. Don't do what he does. It's just
it's self-sacrifice.
Yeah,
Krita is great. Like I personally use CSP. I just like the brush engine. I know people in the professional sphere that use Krita. It's completely. Listen, if it puts lines on paper or funny pixels,
if it makes lines, that's all you need.
Yeah, basically, you can.
Anything. Use what you can get a hold of, because I still use a 10-plus-year-old program.
I started animating on fucking sticky notes. That's where I began.
Try not to let preconceived notions and your own idea of what something should be to stop you from actually doing it. Saying, "Oh, an artist should use Photoshop," or an artist should use Adobe.
Don't
blah blah
be
blah.
like, I need these kinds of tools and materials to do X. Sure,
straight up, you don't.
Sure, doing things with Crayola crayons might be. You might be limiting yourself.
You can still do crazy shit with Crayola if you use them for 2 years.
Yeah, some of the biggest,
painted with egg yolks.
Some of the biggest and most prolific and best artists you find have an absolutely asinine workflow that if you learn about it makes you scratch your head.
It's terrifying. I've seen CSV files with 300 layers. That is like a hate crime.
So if they can do it with an awful workflow, you can also just take what you have right now and try and find something that works for you, and it will work.
Yeah.
As long as you make lines.
You shouldn't have the mental image of the perfect professional artist, like the whole stereotype of some dude in a studio with a freaking 28-inch Wacom going at it.
Here's the only thing. It doesn't matter what program or what medium or whatever you're using. The only thing that's important is that you're not banging your head against a wall. That is the only thing that's important. You should be finding a program, a medium, or whatever that makes it as natural and as easy as possible for you to naturally let the creative process take place. And if it feels good and you're happy and you're excited and maybe a little bit scared, but whatever, if you're excited and ready and have that motivation to do it, no matter what it is, as long as it isn't hitting against your fucking forehead, you are going to be fine.
Is there an optimal time to post? Someone asks. Yes.
No.
Yes? No. I'm pretty sure.
Sure there is, but it doesn't matter, in my opinion,
fluctuates
personally.
Constantly. It's not worth keeping track.
Yeah.
It's like Twitter where there's a flood of art every time the Japanese time zone opens up. It's pretty round the clock. Also, I've noticed, if we're talking about getting your stuff out there, they're really the featured page. I've seen stuff picked out from 3 weeks before. There's no writing a window here.
I had a couple things that I've noticed that I wanted to touch on. Number one, there is a front page suggestions thing.
Oh yeah.
And if you're talking with a buddy or something, and they think that your stuff is good for the front page, they can suggest it in that, and maybe you can get somewhere. I've seen it happen to, like Rick said, pieces that are like 3. Yes, I've seen it happen to him. Like a piece that's like 3, almost a month old. Someone goes like, "Oh, this is actually pretty good. It's a shame that no one actually saw that." And so then they post it in the thread, and then boom, it's on the front page.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to just reach out and say something, please.
Yeah. Also share your favorite artists, even like especially underrated people. I know I've sit in calls and I go through like the undiscovered portal with friends, just showcasing people. It's a great thing to get people out there. Also, random people, like, you will get followed if you get started. Like, dude, at like 40 followers, you're gonna get like some guy with like 3,000 following you. It's weird. People do notice you no matter what. As people scroll through the art portal, there's this like the weird dopamine switch in your brain that goes off when you see something you like, no matter how buried it is. Like, I don't know what, you know what I mean, right? When you go through the whole, like, there's like 20,000 images, your brain will just click with one and click on it no matter what or who put it up. It's weird.
Can you schedule posts in the art portal?
I forget. You may. I don't
do
think.
projects. You can't do pictures, I think.
I always thought that was a little silly. I think that should be a thing.
When it comes to art posts,
then 8 o'clock hits and you get 20,000 things in your feed.
Yeah, when it comes to art posts, I don't think it matters as much. With Newgrounds in particular, I think it's okay. The art portal, I think the art portal is probably the most consistently okay portal on Newgrounds for me, at least.
Audio one's pretty good, honestly, too.
Audio portal is good. I just don't look there as much anymore, sadly.
Yeah, as it happens. What's the biggest one right now? I think games.
Oh yeah. Somebody also said, on the front page suggestions thing, don't just self-promote.
Yeah, don't link your own stuff. That's kind of like, it's not verboten.
That's cringe.
Like, yeah. Yeah, people will notice you and put you on there if you want. It shouldn't be abused. It's just something that, like, if you see something super underrated in your feed and you're like, wow, this is great, put it up there. Otherwise, it's kind of like, don't chill yourself in it too hard. It's kind of
focus on doing the stuff that makes you happy and feel good to do it. I have so many pieces that I did just because I wanted to learn how to do a specific thing, and after the fact, after I posted it, I'm still satisfied because I learned exactly what I wanted to learn, and I know that I can make something that's even better next time I decide to make something.
Yeah, look at this call, dude. Freaking, like, listen, who's the lowest followers here? Boog. Who's the best artist by a freaking 20 million mile gap? Boog.
It's just Boog, yeah. I think that you should really go out and check out Newgrounds Boog Works.
Time yet? Yeah. No, but like that's what I mean. It won't reflect reality or technical skill. It's not like some sort of linear gradient and you get put in like a freaking lookup table where it's like, oh, if this person's X amount quantitative good, they get this many followers. You shouldn't be chasing that. It's not based on reality. It's complete nonsense if someone randomly notices your stuff and sends it to like everyone. It just kind of happens.
Yeah.
With Newgrounds especially, do not chase a number. Do not. I know it feels good, guys. I know it's so satisfying when you see number go big. Oh God, I live for that. That is my favorite fucking thing on earth. But
you can't control it. You
cannot control a number, and also it's the fucking internet, guys. Make the artwork that you want to make, and keep on pushing to make it as good as you possibly can to the degree that you want it to be.
Find out why you want to make art, and follow that path. People are like, "Oh, make art for yourself." That's a pretty good motivator because you won't get stuck of like nobody's seeing it and stuff. Don't like
with a whole external
motivation. Yeah.
Sometimes
maybe. Just keep at it. Basically, just keep posting. Again, somebody said that earlier. The only thing holding you back is not posting. Let's see. Another thing that I randomly noticed. If you think like an art meme trend is interesting, even vaguely, and you're thinking about drawing it, don't not do it because, it's a trend or something. If you kind of want to do it, just do it.
Yeah, don't chase it if you don't want to. But if you see a funny Tank Man cartoon or Madness or whatever, you're like, oh, you fucking love Hank, you shoot the bullet, and you want to do the little thing, do it.
Yeah. If you want to do a little Hank, do it. Yeah, don't go like, but everybody does
But
Hank.
just don't become like the Tank Man artist unless you really love Tank Man and that's your life. You know what I mean? Don't chase these trends. People who chase trends end up, from what I can tell, really like boxing themselves in, and then they constantly worry like, oh, I don't want to post my own characters because then I'm not going to get the number of likes.
It's a good way of burnout. So don't chase the trends. Let them inspire you.
Yep. Oh,
if you start off one thing thinking, oh, a trend is cool, and it turns into something else, just post that.
Yeah. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to draw your own shit. Yeah. Don't ever be afraid to draw your own shit.
Yeah. Also, no one looks at tags anyway, so don't worry about that.
Yeah. What are tags? Tags?
Like tags, I just throw them there, just because
This is in my picture. Yeah.
There's a robot in this picture. I don't know if the tagging system actually does anything, or because it's the art portal. It's when you go to the art portal, it's all there. It's not by.
I don't know what kind of dangerous psychopath navigates Newgrounds with tags.
Oh yeah, that's really fucked up.
Yeah,
it's a feature I keep forgetting exists. Also, during the comic panel, I was listening earlier. Someone mentioned that there's not much support for comics. There really isn't.
Sadly.
I wish there was. I know it's coming out at some point.
It's being
from someone. Yeah,
it's definitely being worked on, but
there is a playlist feature right now. I've seen people use it. There are art playlist options you can put up. I know what's his name? Big Dad uses it. It's one of the bigger guys that uses it, but it does work. So if you're looking for something that kind of puts together your webcomic, that'll make do for now. I know it's not optimal, but it's a feature. So
yeah. Let's see some other features. What are some features do you think that not everybody knows about at first blush? Like, does everybody know about the sketch feature?
Oh, like where does it show up in your portal? Yeah. I've used that. Which is why you shouldn't be afraid of putting stuff out, even more so, because like your followers will see it, the general public won't. If you just want something that's like not good enough, in your opinion,
if you're sketching something like this is a sketch.
You can post literally anything that you want to Newgrounds, aside from acted like movies and whatnot, and like maybe 3 or 4
live,
things.
Like that's good.
Yeah, there's maybe 3 or 4 things that you cannot definitively post on Newgrounds. But if it's a sketch,
we cannot name them because we're gonna get demonetized on YouTube. So
yeah,
you know what it is. This shouldn't be a question.
Yeah. Are there any other like art portal specific like little things that people might not know?
I'm trying to think. I'm not looking at it. I'm trying to picture it in my brain and it's not working. Someone talked for like 30 seconds.
Somebody said there were a few trends I would have loved to tackle, but these dropped once I could find time and interest for that.
If you're late to the party, just fucking do it. Like
straight up, yes,
you'll get better.
Yes, fully agree. It does not matter. Just fucking do it.
As somebody who takes like an eternity to do stuff and is always late to the party.
It's true. He's very slow.
Oh, before we forget, there is one thing. You can embed images in descriptions. It will get compressed to shit. But if you have like a bottom sketch you want to put alongside your main finished piece, you can
like a little. Oh, here's some cool. Here's some little extra or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like if I do like a finished pick, I'll sometimes just show the line art in there. It's gonna be compressed because unfortunately, due to bandwidth or whatever the hell Tom's doing, you can't like it doesn't make sense to embed 3 different images there. I understand why.
Let's see. Also another fun thing I think that you could do is if you're maybe like, oh, this trend is kind of neat, but I don't know if it's super inspiring me. You could also take like a different idea and try and do like some weird kind of synthesis of the two and see if that doesn't interest you. Like the one time I saw a piece someone did of like this one Dragon Ball Z character that kind of looked like Piccolo, but he was yellow. And the guy just said like, this one attack looks like he's dribbling a basketball. So he drew him in like a basketball outfit, just absolutely like dribbling a ball and like rocking a hoop. And I thought that was the sickest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. It goes hard, right?
Be creative.
That is a creative synthesis that led to an interesting outcome. Right there.
Yeah.
So
Newgrounds is probably the best possible place that you can just unleash whatever random fucking crazy idea that you have, and nobody is really going to be like, "Oh, this is stupid," for you just trying something. Try shit.
Who cares? They're dumb.
They go, cool. Another picture.
Yeah.
If there's Fox asks. Sorry, if you're gonna finish your thought.
No, you continue.
Okay. Are there any features you want to see added to the art portal?
Yeah, scheduling.
The obvious one is comics. Yeah,
comics.
For me, I do wish there was a way. I like to embed that line art thing I was talking about. I hate the fact that it's compressed. I just don't feel like it's worth a separate post. If there is a way to just add like a second image, that's
technically, I'm pretty sure that you can use like a WebM or not a WebM, a WebP in the description. I think Brandon. I'm pretty sure that those don't get compressed. I think Brandon would be a better resource for this because he's a fucking WebP nerd. But I'm pretty certain that with sketches and whatnot,
Google shill.
Yeah, with descriptions and whatnot, you can still put WebPs of your sketches so that they're still full.
Oh, hi, Shao. Is there a time limit to this?
Oh, hi, Shao.
You guys technically know. I mean, at this point, after like 10-15 minutes, you could probably start wrapping up. But also, there's no one after you, so if the show needs to go longer for any reason,
if anybody has questions, we're answering it.
I wanted to ask.
You got questions?
I wanted to ask a question. That's why I'm here.
Go for it, Shao.
Go for it, buddy.
I wanted to get your guys' opinions on this, where I feel like
I hate it.
Art, or doing art, is mostly a matter of like confidence, where I think
putting out art is a matter of confidence.
Of course, but also like wouldn't you say like doing it is like just in general. So like I think the difference between someone who is an artist and someone who's not it's night and day. It's someone who does art, but with that, I think if you aren't confident while drawing, and you take a lot of time to make a drawing, you will look at it, and if you don't do it often, you'll look at your drawing and you'll be easy to criticize it. Whereas if you are someone who draws all the time, then you are someone who can just be like, okay, that's just another drawing because I do so many drawings.
Everyone else has a different pace. It's just how it is.
Right.
But I think doing art is discipline.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. But I do think that that's where a lot of people will get discouraged because they're not drawing all the time. And I think that there's I think there's a clear, I think it's just a habit, right?
I would agree with you for the general average every person when it comes to art and starting it up, but also it's so
I think when you're starting building habits is a good idea.
Yeah. Of course, I know, but okay, this is what I'm talking about. Because if I draw something, because I don't draw every day, and I think a lot of people feel this way, who don't draw every day. It's like, all right, I guess I'll draw, right? Because I want to start drawing. But when you say you want to start drawing, it's just you want to pick up that habit. You want and in a habit you feel confident, and it becomes just like kind of routine. If you go without drawing for a while though, right? You'll be like, oh man, like I used to do that all the time. Now I stopped, so I need to be doing that again because I haven't been drawing.
It does happen, but all that depends on is how much time you can make for yourself and how into it you are at the moment. I know for me, I go through I just won't draw for a month. It'll hit me. I'm busy with real life shit. It's just how it goes.
And then you'll hit a peak, but you are someone who draws. That's the difference. So you are a person.
I mean, listen. Okay, I've been doing it for years, but even within
years,
there'll be 2-month gaps where I just won't even pick up a pencil because it just doesn't hit me.
That's totally different from a guy who just doesn't draw like that.
That's me. I don't draw.
Exactly. Me too. Right? Like me and Logan, we just don't draw. So when we're like, okay, we need to draw, it's a really big deal. It's like.
So here's the thing. Right. Here's the thing with that, Shao. Because we're so similar on that, for me, I feel like I draw way less than you because I literally.
I don't think so. I really don't draw. Anytime I draw, it's if I'm animating, and that's different. That's like, okay, I have to do this for a project.
You're still picking that up. You still went out of your way, and you're thinking about that. That's been in your brain. For me, I've gone over 6 months without even touching an art program aside from Blender, and even with Blender, it's different. It's a lot different from actually drawing and
I would say the same thing. I would say the same thing for anime. Yeah. Because I really don't draw. I really also, 6 months. 6 months feels like that's probably about right. That's probably the last time I fucking drew.
Let me say something on that.
Yeah.
Well, one thing is that it's not actually a big deal if you haven't been drawing for a bit and then you start drawing again. You shouldn't think about that.
You'll get back to speed.
You shouldn't think about the time that you spend and going oh man,
I don't think that's the point.
Wanted to draw.
No, I'm saying there's a natural. I'm not worried about it. I just don't draw, and I'm like okay with that. Like if I feel like,
are you asking it? I don't draw.
Okay, then, but do you want to?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. I think that's a lot of people though. Like just like Logan, like Logan. Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying though. It's like, I think it's in a different perspective from someone who does art a little bit, and it's maybe hard to wrap your head around that if you do it, because you're saying like, oh yeah, like sometimes every once in a while, like I haven't drawn for 2 months. Like, doing it, and like, but then also in the same sentence, you're like, but I was doing it for years. It's like,
well, if you think that you're getting to this like weird barrier of where you kind of want to draw, but you're not drawing, but you're kind of okay with that, but you sort of want to, and you're thinking you like the idea of it. Maybe try and make like an inspiring mood board. Find people who make art that inspires you want to make that
I think so, but I'm just saying my question is, wouldn't it just all be confidence is my point. Because if Logan and I were to draw because we don't draw, like we could probably go and just say like we don't draw. That's just something we don't do. If we want to start, the biggest hurdle is doing it consistently until we're confident with it, until it becomes a habit. Like,
yeah, that's the thing for me
question
too.
Is, wouldn't you guys agree that?
How do you build the habit?
Wouldn't you agree that all it is a habit? The difference, like, okay, and we can probably draw something good, like, and that's the thing too. Me and Logan, like, we kind of know things, but like we don't draw. So if we spent 2 hours drawing something that Rick could probably draw in like 20 minutes.
30 minutes.
No, I'm slow as shit.
But okay, no. But you're gonna think you're shit, right? But anyways, point is like, okay, we'll look at that, and then me and Logan will probably be a lot more critical than Rick is, because he's just used to drawing. Is my point. But at the same time, it's probably not that bad what we draw, and it's probably okay. The only difference is that mileage and confidence we don't have, and if we don't have mileage and or at least consistency and confidence, then we're gonna be more critical, and it's gonna be easier for us to fall off. My point isn't all drawing is just those two things.
That's one way you could look at it.
It's definitely one way you could look at it. I think it is almost entirely dependent on your mindset, because when it comes to drawing, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not at all worried about like if I'm going to be drawing at some point or forcing myself to draw, but also I do know for me, and this isn't every artist, it's not my main thing. So I have other things that I do as
of course, I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying if you
when it comes to drawing,
something different for everyone else.
It means something different for everybody else. When it comes to drawing, it's almost entirely dependent on is it your bread and butter or not? You're an animator, Shao. You're mostly animating. I do 3D shit. I'm mostly going to be doing 3D shit, and drawing on its own, if that's what you're dedicated to, is what you're going to be dedicated to. That's not what we're dedicated to, my friend.
All right, last statement next, because we got to.
I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying that though.
Okay, maybe I'm misinterpreting.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I mean, like you say, like in a way, is it all confidence stuff? I mean, to you, yeah. To other people, maybe you just sort of need to find like what you need to narrow down what it actually means there. Think about that, and then like if you really want to, just like actually just write it down. It's like, what does it mean there? That's a crystallized idea.
It may be too difficult.
Let's please move on.
I think it's too difficult to nail down because it's fucking 5 separate artists with 5 separate opinions on what art is.
But that's why I'm asking the question, because I think it is. I think it's an important question. I think it's a very
difficult.
Question.
It's very tough.
Because
it's very, very tough.
I'm thinking from the perspective of someone who doesn't draw but has thought about drawing, right? And so, you can agree, if we were to want to do that, we would just have to be like, okay, we have to do it consistently until we feel confident, and that's it.
I agree.
And that's it, right?
Okay.
Like that's
that I would
sit down and draw.
Yeah, sit down and draw. Okay, Goofy Nut Nightmare has another question. I like saying that a lot.
It is.
Can you guys give your opinions on the question of, quote, how do you develop your own art style?
I think we touched on this earlier. Yeah.
It's like don't. It just happens. You can't force it. Sure, there's like you can. It's. How do I sure you can say I'm going to do shell shading, a shell shade style today, but I'm not going to, or the next I'm just going to do painterly tomorrow, but for large in part the idiosyncrasies of your work, like what makes your work recognizable, the idiosyncrasies, like as you recognize his style, say like how Toriyama does something or Shinkawa does something. That's something that develops over time. You know,
you won't even notice it happening until
you won't even notice it happening until until you look back at the end.
Yeah. I feel like style comes out of both process and mental image. I know for me, I think we went over this yesterday when we were preambling, but everyone kind of has the part in the process they're the most comfortable with. For me, it's line art.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing for Boog, it's shading and painting in general. Those preferences will show in the final product, and they will be a core part of your style. I know for me, the big thing is line art. I focus very heavily on that, and I absolutely suck at painting. But that is a factor of why the shit I crank out looks the way it does, right? For Boog, the man's discipline really shows off. He's very thorough. Style arises naturally. It is a byproduct, and just embrace that. Don't find elements of other style you want to integrate if you like how they do things, but don't get stuck in symbol drawing. Don't draw the same line over and over again.
Go with exactly what I was saying too. It's like, I mean, if you're,
I would have known I wasn't listening.
If you're like, you can't find a style. Like, I agree with that. So it's like, what you're gonna draw is probably gonna be good anyways. There's just a mental hurdle. It's like, okay, well, you want it to look like this, you want to look like this, but it's like, it's gonna look like something. It's gonna look like natural from you, and so with confidence and with consistency, it's like, if you just keep drawing, like a tree, for example. If you want to draw a tree like someone else, you just keep looking at the trees, you keep drawing the trees. If you just keep doing that, then you just will have that. I mean,
it's kind of like it's kind of like a signature. As you make the signature, it gets its own little idiosyncrasies that sort of solidify over time, and then it becomes yours. And when you scribble on a piece of paper, people will notice that it's yours.
Right. With also signatures is a great example of what I'm talking about too, because the first time you write your fucking signature, it's slow and shitty, but then if you write 1,000 signatures, then you're gonna be confident. And then after a while, you're consistent. And I'm just saying, man.
Yeah. It arises.
So there you go. The answer is just draw. That's the answer to a lot of things.
Yeah.
It seems.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, but I want to reiterate this point. Style is a resource and a byproduct. It is a resource to draw on from others and to integrate with how you view the world and how you display it on a canvas. And your own expression will arise naturally from how you go about your own process and how you do these, like, pulls from other sources. So don't focus on it. Focus on other styles and how to implement that. But don't go chasing, like, I want to just draw, South Park for the rest of my life. You can do that, but you might not get that fulfillment that
I think if you chase only the style and the style first, it just comes off as a parody.
Don't there's no end goals to drawing, I think. Like, you can't be like, oh, I'm going to draw until I'm good. Like, you'll be good before you realize it, right? That's the whole point. And, like, by the time you are good, you won't even, like, I don't know, fathom that. I think you'll still be critical of yourself because you're just...
Okay. Somebody else asked, if I were to make a comic, would it be better if I uploaded all the pages once I'm finished? Or would splicing pages with regular art and huge time gaps in between pages work fine?
It's hard to follow then. I would say get a chapter done, release some previews, like put out a page if you want people to know it's coming, and then put it out as a chapter. It's much easier to follow. It'll keep it in people's minds much better.
Yeah.
Especially on Newgrounds. It's just I've seen people post like a page from a comic every 3 weeks, and I'll be like, oh, that's a cool comic, I should keep up with it, and I just forget about it because it's been 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Keep them as blocks. A chapter is a narrative series. You want to keep it as a narrative series, if that makes sense.
I would fully agree there.
Yeah. Hopefully that feature comes soon. Tom.
Yeah, Tom.
Hire me. I'll program it for you. Hire me.
No, don't hire him. Hire me.
Yeah, I'm actually an awful employee.
I'm actually a full-stack web developer. I'll do it.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Way to flex, bud. Way to flex.
Yeah. It's freaking engine.
I saw tooting your own
I'm
horn
computers.
over there, Pot.
I hate computers. I play guitar.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of tuning your own horn, so I think people should really check out Newgrounds Boog Works and also on Twitter as D Mosier Arts. It's excellent. Truly excellent.
He is really good. He's incredibly good.
I'm guessing we should tail this off because it's 5:30 or past 5:30.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we should
okay.
end this off. Does
Yeah.
anyone have artists they want to share? Since we're shilling Boog, we should show others as well. Do you have any artists you think really deserve some exposure that should be shouted out, or ones that already have it but you just want known?
Ooh, I can look.
Yeah.
Goji.
Let me see.
I love Golgi. I don't know who that is, by the way. Go follow Doggle. He makes good art.
Hold on, I'm looking at the I'm looking at some of the people that I follow.
Follow Stagger Knight. Follow Stagger Knight on Newgrounds.
Oh, follow Chawsome as well.
People know him. I just love his animation. I'm a big fan of his art
Tiltro.
Tiltro, damn good.
Yep. Follow
I think
Chawsome. He does really good line work.
I think you guys should all follow BB.
Oh,
BBII. Amazing artist, criminally underrated, does pretty cool stuff. You know what we never talked about?
What?
Commissions.
Commissions? Boog, this is your time to shine, buddy.
Oh God.
We'll have to be real quick on it.
How do you feel about the perspective of being paid for your art?
Well, being as how it's how I pay for things, and yeah, it's.
Yeah. So it's a very general question.
That's a very general question.
How does it impact your view of when you're actually doing your process? Like, as you're laying out the piece and all that, do you feel there's more pressure on you? Does it impact how you actually do your execution?
Well, it's I trying to find an anchor point to like latch on.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah.
We're the last panel, dude. We can be here till fucking 10 o'clock.
We can do whatever the fuck we want.
All right. How does it like it? It's sort of, as long as the client provides, as long as I'm not like doing most of the legwork and like what trying to interpret what the client wants, it's just a matter of doing it, execution.
Yeah. But, also, do yourself a favor. Send sketches if you're being commissioned. Send them their way and make sure they prove it. Because the last thing you want to do is finish a piece and they're like, "Oh, can you make the ass bigger?"
Yes, I'm programmed.
And then all of a sudden,
if I'm an artist on Newgrounds and I want to start doing commissions, where should I put that? Where should I put the commission sheet?
Commission sheet should be in a news post tagged to your profile, so it's immediately visible. In my opinion. The one issue with that is new news posts. I think overwrite it. Can you pin a news post? I actually don't know.
A news post to your profile?
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain that you can have a news post. I'm pretty sure that you can, with the Collabinator on Newgrounds, also have that be the first post that people see on your profile.
Yeah, you want to make it visible, and you want to direct people to that if they ever ask. They will usually reach through DMs.
That's another thing. Hold on. Yeah. Collabinate.newgrounds.com. Very important. People don't use it enough.
What the hell is it? What is it?
I don't know what it is.
Collabinator? You don't know about this?
This is what I asked earlier, and you never said anything about it.
Listen, man. Listen. I'm trying to actually get the link because I always forget that this exists too. But this is just a piece of Newgrounds that's been around for a good while now, where folks can get together for whatever projects that they're doing. If you need a voice actor, if you need a artist, a animator of any sort, I cannot fucking find this page for the life of me. Labinate Newgrounds. Hold on. There we go.
Ooh, Raspaz is great. Sorry, the book just linked the guy. He's really good.
I can't fucking find this thing. Never mind.
I found it. It's newgrounds.com/collab.
There it is.
COLLAB. Collab.
So what is it? What does it do?
Basically, you can make a post or a listing asking for help or trying to give your services to anybody else for collaborations, for commissions, whatever you would want to do. Newgrounds has that.
The A tag looking at it. Okay.
Yeah, Newgrounds has that built into it's just into it already, and you can use that to find people that are actually looking for whoever is needing whatever you're going to be supplying. I've used that before for voice acting stuff, and it's been pretty helpful.
If you run a tabletop campaign and you want character art, that's a lot of commissions that are safe for work run through that, I've found.
Oh yeah, dude. People want artwork of their tabletop characters. A lot of people play those tabletop games now, so there's a lot of people who do it. And if you do a good job, they will tell other people about you.
Oh yeah. People are very grateful when they commission.
Rick will draw fetish.
No, I will not actually at all. I don't want to talk about my DMs, but I will not.
Let's see.
Oh, that's nice.
I want to talk about my DMs. I want to talk about your DMs.
Oh yeah, and if you're ever curious about what you should actually price things for commissions, how should you work around that?
Talk with people. Talk with people and artists that are in your small little bubble and ask them what a good pricing is.
You've been making a network, right? You've been doing that, right? Like, that's what I've been telling you to do.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Also, don't feel bad about, like, I know people have been concerned about, like, oh, you know, the OpenAI or the, what's the AI generation for images? Dream something? I forgot. The people using that, I've noticed, aren't ones that are paying for commissions in the first place. I really noticed that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be the main clientele you're facing anyway, so don't feel bad about going through that. It's not the apocalypse right now for visual art. It's a very interesting field, and it's going to be a paradigm shift, but don't let it stop you from getting into visual art, being like, oh, a fucking computer can make Lord of the Rings before I can do a doodle. That's not going to have any impact besides personal expression.
So if you're thinking, what do I price my things at? Talk to people, get comparisons, and get feedback on that.
And folks will help you. They will be more often than not completely open in helping you price whatever you're trying to price.
People are annoyingly positive on this.
I cannot understate it enough. If there's one thing that I want anyone listening to take away from this is to show initiative.
Yeah.
For everything.
Head talk ass fucking.
Yeah. Initiative with a capital fucking I, okay? Talk to people, do stuff, get out of your comfort zone, try and incorporate new styles, try wacky ideas and putting them together. Even if it doesn't work, you've still done something. Like, just show some initiative and enthusiasm, and then it'll probably work out.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So I probably should ask Shell. Should we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we should plug.
What'd you say?
I think we should plug the autism thing one more time.
Yeah. Say the thing.
There it is. Say it.
Newgrounds.com/support.
All right.
Go ahead.
And now for the last donation shout-outs of the event, we had Barian who just donated $10. Thank you so much, mate. We really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you all for donating. There's
great work.
$10. Money. I'm going to be posting all the donations in the server, all the lists of people who donated and how much. I have to figure that out today. Thanks for everyone. Most of the crowds died down, so for the last remaining people, appreciate it. I'm so sleepy. I'm gonna take a nap.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you all so much.
So you're a Hongshu or Snork me kind of guy.
Oh, me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm more of a face down, not breathing kind of guy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Thanks everyone for not listening.
Today your hosts were Shao, it's Red Queen, Kekiro. If you guys want to say bye, and then you other guys, thank you for tuning in and talking about art.
Anytime, buddy.
And if you guys are interested, maybe we can play something later, like a Gartic phone or something. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Also, everybody in the chat, if has questions about art or process, feel free to DM me.
Yeah,
I'm sure the rest of them too.
Yeah.
DM any of us.
Again, reach out to people.
Reach out to any single one of us, especially Shao. If you have any questions on animation, message Shao. Ask him about boxes.
The worst images you can find.
Shao is like super good at explaining the animation stuff.
If you don't show
everything,
if you don't have initiative, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a threat.
God damn it!
Fucking turn